For the YMCA Sit and Reach Flexibility Test, we will be demonstrating a multitude of trials here within this video. Before your subject even sits down on the ground, you may want them to warm up, do a few stretches, focusing on the lower back and the hamstrings. But once your subject is fully warmed up, you will place them in this position you see here. Notice the subject is sitting flat on the ground, legs are fully extended, and feet are placed flat against the front board of the sit and reach box. Okay? The next thing we're going to go over is the proper placement of the hands as the individual goes through the test. Okay? A lot of times the natural reaction is to reach one hand forward, okay? When in reality your hands should be placed over top of each other with the fingertips aligning, as you see here. Okay? As that individual reaches forward, again, the tendency is to reach one hand or the other forward. That is an inaccurate measurement. Okay? You need to make sure that your subject is keeping those fingers in line. They reach both hands outward together. Notice that the heels, again, are placed on the front board of the sit and reach box. This signifies basically what is called the 0 point of the box. However, when you're actually measuring the distances that your subject is able to reach forward, that 0 line actually represents 15 inches. What we've done is we've placed a white Gulick tape against the measurement or the ruler on the sit and reach box to demonstrate this. So that 0 line, or the point at which the subject's feet are placed, is actually 15 inches. If your subject reaches past that line when they do one of their trials, you're going to add that distance, whatever it may be, to 15. Okay? They've passed their feet. They've gone, say, 3 inches past. You will take 3 inches, add it to 15. If they are unable to reach that 0 point or that 15-inch line, you actually subtract from 15. So let's say this individual reached only 3 inches, but it was in front of the line. You would take 15 minus 3 to get your actual sit and reach value. This is important. If you're confused on this, please make sure that you understand it before you go and have a subject go through, so that way you're not messing up their measurements. Okay? When you do this test, you're going to do 3 trials with your subject minimum. But what your subject's going to start to do is they're going to place their hands appropriately. So once again, over top of each other, fingertips aligned. If they can reach the end of the board, that's great. They can rest them there. You want to tell your subject that they're going to take a big inhale in, and then as they go forward, okay, they're going to do this in a controlled fashion, and they're going to exhale as they move forward. The subject will reach as far as they possibly can, again making sure to keep those fingertips in line, and they have to hold their farthest position for a minimum of 2 seconds. Okay? If they cannot hold that for 2 seconds, that measurement won't count. Okay? They can't just kind of throw their hands out there and come back. It needs to be held for 2 seconds. When your subject does that, that will allow you time to mark the distances that they reach. Following that marking, you can then calculate how far they were able to reach, have your subject rest, and then you will repeat trials 2 and 3. So our subject here was able to reach about 2.5 inches. However, it was before the 0 line, so you would take 15 minus 2.5, which would give you his sit and reach distance for the first trial. Once you've completed all 3 trials and recorded them or what have you, you will then take the best measurement. So in this case, our subject was able to reach to the 0 line, so his would be 15 inches. You take that 15 inches and you can go to a normative values table, and you can compare your subject's distance to the normative data of a large group of individuals. So they may go by gender, may go by age, but you are able to compare and give your subject an idea of how they compare to the general public. However, it is important to note to make sure that you use the YMCA sit and reach normative values, as there are multiple sit and reach tests out there, and which means there are multiple normative value data sets out there. So please make sure that you use the YMCA sit and reach tables.